Oh, Lord have mercy. I wasn't sure if I was going to cover this just because of the general interest. I wasn't sure if we were going to get people to support or, just people to come and talk about this. But this has been something that I've been covering, excuse me, for a couple years now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning. Nurse Janice has renewed her membership. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hold up, y'all. I'm letting the people get in here, letting the people know that we are live. Some people may not be familiar with this case. Uh, we live now, and I know. Oh, this is going to be so interesting already. Julia Wandel was arrested at arrival at the airport and sent to jail. So she couldn't really stalk the McCanns, could she? Oh no, she did. She did. Yeah, she stalked the McCanns. She went to their property before that a couple times. She filmed herself while at the McCann's property, so she definitely has, and so have some of her, co-defendants as well. So yeah, I mean, she has. Let's see. And by the way, whoa, girl, you are coming in here fighting. By the way, Julia was doing a DNA test comparing her DNA with Jerry McCann, and it was a hit. Oh yeah, I know. I know, and people couldn't confirm the doctor's background who did that. People couldn't confirm any of that. You know what I find so interesting? How come Sean Atwood isn't covering this trial? I mean, why isn't he covering this trial? That's the question that I have. This is why mental health and Snickers are so important. Mental health is definitely important, especially on this case. Um, okay. Let's get it together, guys. And I might be in and out of the stream because I do have baby bunnies, so I gotta go back and forth. So you'll have me on mute sometimes, depending on the situation. Good morning, everybody. I'm letting the people get in here. Okay. I know, right? A lot of people aren't covering this. I thought I was like doing a search because I said, some of these people are located in the UK. Why aren't they covering this case? Why aren't they covering the trial? Because guys, this woman right here by the name of Julia, she's been exploited to the craziest degree. Okay, she really has. So let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory. All right, my opinion. A couple years ago, and I think I was maybe one of the first here on YouTube. There were other people for sure, but this was one of the first, right? I was definitely one of the first that I saw a Instagram post by an account named I am Madeleine McCann. Okay. And in this account, there were pictures of Madeleine McCann, who if it I'm sure some of you guys know the backstory on the Madeleine McCann case and whatnot. Hold up, guys. Give me 1 sec. So there was an account by the name of I am Madeleine McCann, who was essentially ran by a woman named Julia Wandel, Julia Faustina. That was her other name. Okay. Now, Julia essentially asked the public for help because she said that she believed to be Madeleine McCann. Okay. And so all of that went viral. Now, you guys know that the Madeleine McCann case had received so much, you know, international, national news, right? And so, of course, people are going to know, like, well, if somebody's saying you're Madeleine McCann, this is the little child that went missing. I think she was about to be, what, 4 or something like that at the time, or 3 or 4, right? And well, she was 3 at the time. She was turning 4. Anyways, so she disappeared. She went on like this holiday trip with her parents, okay, in Portugal. And she went like missing in 2007, May of 2007, okay? And the parents were never charged with any crime. Apparently, they had left to go, I don't know, party or drinks or whatever. I've always found the parents to have been suspect, in my opinion, always suspect. But they went out to go party or whatever, and then they left their kids. They left Maddie. They came back. Maddie was gone. Okay. There's been so much controversy, so much coverage about this case, both national and international, even till this day. Madeleine McCann's remains have never been found. Madeleine McCann has never been found, right? Now, throughout the years, there have been so many women out there that have claimed to be Madeleine McCann. Outside of Julia Wandelt, there was a woman in Arkansas who said she's Madeleine McCann. There was a TikTok trend called I Am Madeleine McCann, where women were saying that they were Madeleine McCann. So to me, it's like one of those things where people will and have used Madeleine McCann's name to either go viral, to make a profit. I mean, Madeleine McCann's name brings a profit, okay? Um, Now the thing about Julia Wandel that people did not report on or selectively decided not to report on was that Julia Wandel had reported to have been three other missing women. Okay. Three other missing women. She had reached out to a Polish publication, to a Polish nonprofit, and said, I am Madeleine McCann. This is who I am, or I am this person. And they were a little concerned because they were like, well, maybe she's not well. Julie Wandel has been in and out of mental health institutions to address the ongoing issues that she has had. And apparently, even her family have addressed this, that she has been somebody who likes the attention, has always wanted to have been known, and this is the most viral that she had ever gone, pretending to be Madeleine McCann. Okay. So when she came online. There was a woman who, when she ran that I Am Madeleine McCann, there was a woman by the name of Fia Johansson. Fia Johansson, who is like a bit of a, I don't know, she's got some Hollywood connections. She got her on Dr. Phil. She used her social media platform to basically elevate those allegations that she was Madeleine McCann and that her bio mom did not want to do a DNA test or anything like that, which it was never the case. Her biological mother and her father, well, excuse me, her biological mother specifically had offered to help her do a DNA test, like they'll help her. So she's aware that she is their daughter. Julia was very selective about the pictures that she would show. She said that she was never shown any birth pictures. That's not the case. A lot of birth pictures are out there. There's a lot of her birth certificate was out there. Fia Johansson knew about Julia's true identity and then just kind of declined to even talk about it or just kind of hush hush about it. As they went to Dr. Phil. Now, Fia Johansson has promoted herself to be this spiritual reader of the spirit boxes, another spirit box reader, who was she predicted that Madeleine McCann would have appeared at a certain time. It bit her in the ass at the end of the day because it turns out that she really like this. She brought Julia, although she flew Julia all the way to California to her home, and there was a huge fallout that happened over this. Okay. Julia had to leave the property. Julia spoke out against Fia. Julia exposed Fia. Fia exposed Julia, and it became a huge little thing. But there were other people in Julia's camp, all right, to be quite honest, that were also pushing the narrative. At some point, the story did die. There was a point where Julia went to I don't think it was the BBC, it was another outlet where she apologized publicly to the McCanns. Okay. And she said, I'm not the McCanns. Mhm. I'm not the McCanns. Where Fia was in her fifi says, there you go. Um, so at some point, she goes to this outlet. She does an article, she does an interview, and she talks about the fact that she got fueled by this like social media thing. And so she was like, well, I'm not Madeleine McCann. She apologized to the McCann. She's like, I didn't know I caused them this much stress. I'm sorry, yada yada yada. She said all this publicly. She said, I'm not Madeleine McCann. Okay. Well, Okay, so then that's where a lot of us thought that the story died. I took down a lot of my Julia, Wandel videos because I didn't want the girl to get bullied because it looks like she had been bullied, right? Law enforcement was involved. It turns out that she had called a couple of the agencies and telling them that she was Madeleine, and I mean she had been doing this for a couple years, okay? Where she's Madeleine, she finally records herself calling the yard, talking about I'm Madeleine McCann, and the officer's like, "You're not Maddie." She records that and she releases that. She gets connected with these other content creators, and I do have to be careful because one of those content creators got really upset with me and filed a defamation. In the UK, there's like a defamation thing that you can do on YouTube, right? Where you can censor the creator. I had one on one of my videos, and I was promoting Sonia Poulton because Sonia Poulton, shout out to her, she's from the UK. She's a reporter and a journalist. She spoke about Julia Wandel, right? And then after that, I found out a lot about a lot of this whole situation, this little connection here. And I've stayed quiet. I have. I haven't really said a whole lot, but there's a lot of people and a lot of silencing that happens from the trio here, the people here. They don't want people to speak out against them, which is whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, let's not name drop them. But Sonia Poulton is amazing. You guys, like, sometimes when I can't sleep because she's in the UK, I watch her. She went into my comments. She allowed me to use her video. Shout out to her. She's amazing. If you guys like go to her comments, let her know that I shouted her out. She's amazing. She's a really great creator. Shout out to her. She's a journalist, right? So here we are today. Julia, like this person said right here. Well, I don't know if they went away, but it's okay. This person was like, "Well, she didn't really stalk the McCanns, because she was arrested at the airport." Okay, girl. She was arrested at the airport. No, she went to the McCann's property a couple times. She went to the McCann's property. She recorded herself. She talked about. I'll show you her YouTube channel. Thank you, Ashley. She talked about meeting Jerry McCann. And she talked about, she recorded all this. Like, this isn't a at all a surprise. This is Sonia Poulton right here. This is her channel, y'all. Check her out. Okay. Amazing journalist. Like, if you can't sleep, what, like, she'll be, if you're in the USA time, she'll probably be live, and she does like daily streams on this. Like, she just did a stream, Wake Up with Sonia Poulton. Yeah. So sometimes I'll be watching her. She discusses all kinds of topics. Shout out to her. Amazing creator. Okay. Check her out. I'll make sure I drop her. I've shouted her out before too. Let me put her right here. Thank you, Chico. So let's go back a little bit. So Sonia Poulton does this. I do a reaction. My channel gets censored over talking about the situation because it was the Sean Atwood channel and company who were talking about Julia Wandel. Now, the Sean Atwood channel and company have made a lot of money off of Julia Wandel. Hell, we're content creators. We make money off of content, talk about content and true crime and stuff like that. That's not at all what the issue was. It's just that it's been proven that she is not Maddie McCann, right? And so what happened was that company, this company right here, really pushed her to go out and harass the McCanns, and they have. There is no and if, ands, or buts. They have completely harassed the McCanns. So I did a lot of videos. I did a video. There was the real Julia Wandel. I believe they might have changed their Facebook page and YouTube channel, but they have completely documented this whole thing. They have documents. I got in contact with them and they told me, yeah, we were here when you first started covering this case. So a lot of us know about this. I was contacted about a year ago from a producer who they're looking to make a documentary about this whole situation. I'm here for it. And so they were interested in my content and doing an interview. I'm here for it. So because a lot of us did document this whole situation when it went down. But the producer, very nice guy. I'm not going to say his name and I'm not going to say the company or who, but they were like, you were one of the only ones that we saw, you and another person, two other people that really documented everything for what it really was. And so There could be, I mean, who knows? After this trial, there could be a documentary. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, you were shocked. Well, she popped up again because she is in trial. She and a woman by the name of Karen Sprague. So let's talk about this. We're gonna cover it's. We're gonna go to day 1 and day 2. It shouldn't be too long for us to cover. Now, like I said, I gotta take maybe go on mute for a little bit because I got Baby Bunny that she goes in and out of the room. The sitter's in the other room, but y'all know Baby Bunny goes everywhere where she wants to go, and if she interrupts me, I have to be able to tend to her. Okay, so let's start right here. Let me make myself smaller, and I figured I don't know how much demand or popularity this is having or anything like that. I did a video yesterday and it didn't get a lot of views, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is, but this is a story that I know people, if you ever watched the Dr. Phil show, you would know this story because she was on Dr. Phil. If you ever captured it in any way, if you follow my channel, you would know the story. Okay, so let's get into this right now. Now let me check something real quick, guys, before I get started. Okay. So here we go. So the trial started October 6th. Okay. And this is kind of like, think of it as an inner city press, but this is for the BBC. And this person by the name of George Tor, he's from the BBC News, East Midlands. And he is basically live tweeting. Okay. He's been live tweeting today. So we're going to cover day 1 and 2 today. All right. So the McCann family stalking trial to begin. Good afternoon from Leicester Crown Court. The trial of 2 women who are accused of stalking the family of Madeleine McCann, who went missing in 2007, is opening. Julia Wandelt from Lublin in southwest Poland and Karen Sprague of, hold up, let me make sure I say this correctly because I didn't have to pronounce it. Caro. Karen Sprague of Caro, Cardiff, previously entered not guilty pleas. The prosecution is about to open the case, right? October 6th, prosecution outlining the case. Michael Duck, KC, for the prosecution, is on his feet addressing the jury. He's explaining the charges brought against Miss Wandelt and Miss Spragg and Mrs. Spragg. Both are charged with stalking, causing serious alarm or distress. Mr. Duck, KC, said the charges related to a time period between the 1st of June, 2022 and July 21st. Excuse me, hold up. Between 1st of June 2022 and the 21st of February 2025. So a time period that they're giving us. Okay. The prosecution told the jury Miss Wandelt pursued claims that she was Madeleine McCann and pursued her parents over a period of time. He told the court this happened both by email, telephone, visits to their home village in Leicestershire, and by visits to their home address. Unimaginable trauma. Mr. Duck, KC, said the defendant's behavior was not typified by an offhand comment in a post on social media, but a well-planned campaign of harassment. In Miss Wandel's case, he added, of 2.5 years. The McCanns had to endure not just the unmanageable trauma, but also the vitriol from some members of the public, he said. The prosecution said Madeleine McCann's disappearance remains close to the top of the media's agenda, which has the capacity to draw enormous media attention. And that it does, my friends. When Julia Wandelt went to court, I remember seeing pictures. There was pictures out there from various social media influencers out there who said that there were protesters outside to free Julia Wandelt. Like this in the last 3 years, 3.5 years that this has grown social media gain. It has grown so much attention. People that don't believe, she is Maddie McCann, still believe that she needs a DNA test. When, by the way, she's been behind, I don't know, sitting there behind bars for a couple months now. I'm pretty sure they got their DNA pretty well and set. I'm just saying. Oh, sorry. I got a TV side playing over here. Let me take a drink of this. October 6th, Miss Wandelt in tears as prosecutors say that she is not Madeleine McCann. So Isaac Ash says from the BBC says, we are taking a brief recess right now. As Mr. Duck, Casey told the jury that Miss Wandelt is not Madeleine McCann. And the defendant stood in the dock and began to weep. Mrs. Justice Cutts then asked for the jury to be ushered from the courtroom. At the beginning of his evidence, the prosecutor addressed the jury and said that they were going to be here for some time. Mr. Duck Casey said, can we, at this very early stage, make this position clear? Julia Wandelt is not Madeleine McCann. This is not an issue you are going to have to decide. Oh, the prosecution is not playing. Yeah. She's technically stalking. That is correct. Pretty much. Pretty much, my friends. No, that is what you were led to believe. Do some research on the doctor. 69% of a DNA, 68% is not viable. That doesn't make sense. And by the way, she's accused of altering images, information, documents. You can't believe everything that Julia provides you. And the doctor, the so quote unquote doctor, all of that is so sketch. Yeah, no. Just be mindful that not everything that's being put out there is accurate. And I truly hope that the McCanns do something about the people that have enabled her. She's not Madeleine McCann. She's not Jerry McCann's daughter. No, she's not. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. Well, they said, Ches, they said it was 68%. Like, what? What does that even mean? What is 68%? It's crazy. Okay. Yeah, she's not a match, but hey, let's keep going. The court resumes. This is October 6th again, first day of court. The jury has returned to the courtroom. Mr. Doug Casey will continue to open the prosecution's case. The judge has said that the court will sit until 16:15 BST today. Okay. Now, they do a little thing right here where they kind of give us an outline of the Madeleine McCann case. Again, this is still the first day of trial. When did Madeleine McCann disappear? The 3-year-old was on holiday with her family in Portugal when she disappeared on May 3rd, 2007. She vanished from an apartment complex in Praia da Luz in, is it Portugal? So this all started sparking Europe-wide nation. Oh, no, this is for you. Thank you, my love. Europe-wide nation investigation that has become one of the highest profile missing persons case. Madeleine's parent had been dining with friends at a restaurant a short walk away, while their daughter and her younger 2 siblings were asleep in the ground floor apartment. They had checked in on the children periodically until her mother, Kate, discovered that she was missing at about 22 hours local time. The case remains unsolved. Okay. Giving us a little update. All right, so we're still on October 6th on this update. Manipulated images. Wow, manipulated images. Yeah. The prosecutor is continuing the Crown case and said that Miss Wandelt sought to manipulate information, including images, to back up her unsubstantial claims. The court heard that she sought information from experts and got answers that she liked. Oh, well, look at here. She got answers from experts. Who were the experts that supposedly initially appeared in Madeleine McCann's life? Bea Johansson promoted herself to be an expert, right? Other people promoted themselves to be an expert, and then you start looking in their backgrounds and you're like, what are you an expert at? What is your education? Not one effing degree, and everything else that I have found was altered. Forbes 100's magazine. This AI stuff is a whole different level. This altering the pictures, it's a whole different level, y'all. Altering information, altering documents, altering DNA stuff, whole different level, guys. Yeah. Right. It shouldn't be hard. I'm telling you, even if you can't get a copy of my degree, you could definitely search me And you'll find me with a graduation cap and gown at a state university with some of my colleagues. You can find information public, even if you can't necessarily say, I can't find her degree. Trust me when I say. And by the way, I mean, all of that, it's all like you could just find it. Just depends how you search it. It's weird to me when you can't find somebody who has a decorative or at least a background and they say, well, I did this and that and the other. Shouldn't be that hard. Not at all. Not nowadays. Nope. Okay. The court says the court heard she sought information from experts and got answers she liked. Why she pursued these false claims is not a straightforward answer, and something the jury will not have to answer, he said. Mr. Duck Casey added that she used features, images, which were freely available to support her claims, that were similarities between her and Madeleine McCann. Remember when she said she had the same key, like the same little eye situation thing that Madeleine McCann had? She also said she had it too. She altered photos to make her have it too. The evidence will show that she obtained numerous images of Madeleine McCann and memories of the McCann's family to support her claims, he said. Not surprised. Okay. Let's keep going. 1 sec. All right. Let's keep going, y'all. Mr. Duck Casey added that she used features, images, which were freely available to support her claim, and there were similarities between her and Madeleine McCann. The evidence will show she obtained numerous images of Madeleine McCann and memories of the McCann family to support her claims, he said. He added, this garnered wide public interest. The evidence from this case is the use of images. One powerful example the court heard is that Miss Wandelt forwarded images. Oh, girl. Okay, sorry about that. And I'm trying my best, guys. I said I gotta go in and out. No one, I know, isn't it funny that no one else is covering this? Isn't it funny? Okay, let's keep going. All right. The evidence will show that she obtained numerous images of Madeleine McCann and memories of the McCann family to support her claims, he said. He added, this garnered wide public interest. Evidence from this case is the use of images. One powerful example the court heard is that Miss Wandelt forwarded images to Madeleine's siblings. So she was contacting the siblings too. Those images were designed to persuade that they were similarities between them and were in some way related. It's weird. You have some stranger, okay? Your sister went missing when you guys were younger, right? And you have some stranger forward you images of you and altered images of you and Maddie, of your sister. Like, ain't that, like, that is crazy work, guys. They had been manipulated and features altered, the prosecutor said. I'm so glad that this is being like live streamed, at least from the BBC, so that we can get the actual facts. Missing girl claims. The prosecutor told the court Miss Wandelt said that she had been abducted and transported to Poland. Mr. Duck Casey said that in January of 2023, Miss Wandelt was in contact with a Polish charity established to assist with historic missing person cases and offer support and advice to people seeking those who had gone missing. According to the prosecution, Ms. Wandelt said that she was missing German girl Inga, I can't say her name, I think it's Jurek, Inga Jurek. Yeah, I remember this because there was an article about this. Then Isaiah Bishop, a baby from Utah in the US, and then Madeleine McCann. Remember, I told you guys, I covered this so much in my video. She had claimed to be 3 missing individuals before landing on Madeleine McCann. Okay. She claimed to be Inga Jurek, then I say Asia Bishop and a baby from Utah in the US, and then Madeleine McCann. She claimed to be 3 different missing people. And when I have when the supporters come into my comments about this, they never address this. They never talk about why she claimed to be 3 missing different people. They never address this. Why? If she thought she was Madeleine McCann, okay, she thought she was Madeleine McCann. But why? Why would you claim to be 3 different missing people? Becky, that was a lie. That was a lie. They altered that. They lied about that. They did. She's facing trial right now over stalking charges. She clearly has mental health issues, but we can't talk about that. That's right. Her mama tried to get her help. They tried. She tried to do this before. That's what I was trying to say. And nobody ever talks. Nobody points this out. Okay. Let's keep going. The charity said images formed the view that did not support her claim. So she contacts this charity, right? That's for missing people. And she had claimed to be these other people. And then she finally landed on Madeleine McCann. So the court, the Crown Court, has subpoenaed, or at least has brought in the nonprofit expert on this. Or at least that's what it sounds like. He's going to testify. Wow. Defendant called hospital switchboards claiming she was Madeleine McCann. We saw her call the the yard. I think it's the Scotland Yard, someplace, right? And she's told the officer, "I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to give up." We have that recording too. She wasn't going to give up. Here we go. Let's keep going. Defendant called hospital switchboard claiming that she was Madeleine McCann. Mr. Doug KC said Miss Wandelt called the switchboard of the University Hospital of Leicester NHS Trust claiming to be Madeleine McCann and asked to be put through a Glenfield hospital. She added she remembers nothing before 2010 and had contacted both the UK and Polish police. The prosecutor said this was the first attempt to speak to the McCanns, and the information was forwarded to Operation Grange. That's what it was, not Scotland Yard. I'm sorry. Operation Grange. The team investigating Madeleine's disappearance. Far from being deterred, she made further attempts, but that failure, rather than stopping her in her tracks, was a catalyst for a multitude of attempts with accumulated in the next 2 years. In the next 2.5 years, he said. Miss Wandelt followed up by contacting Operation Grange and telling them why she believed she was Madeleine. Her reasons included a mark in her iris of her eye. The court heard the defendant also claim her birth certificate was a fake and that a woman had said that she had seen Madeleine in Poland, close to where Miss Wandelt grew up. These were just allegations that she was making. Supposedly, she doesn't remember anything before 2010 when there's pictures of her, by the way. Supposedly, right? And so then she's calling. And by the way, this was the first attempt in, does it say the year? The prosecutor said this was the first attempt when she called Operation Grange. And then there was recordings of her in Operation Grange. And the officer told her, "You called us 4 years ago." So again, she had been doing this way before she went viral. She had been doing this. This is behavior. This is very sick behavior of her. Okay. Hold up, guys. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. So we heard the defendant call hospital switchboards claiming that she was Madeleine McCann. Okay, October 6th is the first day of trial still. The prosecution has told the court that Miss Wandelt sent emails to Jerry McCann, Madeleine's father, in June of 2023. In one email, she wrote, "I could be your daughter. It's possible I'm her." She added that people were trying to cover up the story and claim that she has the same scars in the same places and shapes as Madeleine, the court heard. Mr. Doug Casey said scientific proof means categorically that the defendant is not Madeleine McCann. The McCanns simply ignored these claims, but Miss Wandelt continued to engage and provoke a response, he added. So she still continued to stalk them. She still continued to very much provoke a response. Claims of memories in messages to Madeleine's sister. Okay. Now she's messaging the sister. The prosecution is now going through is now the prosecution is now going through contacts Miss Wandelt had with Madeleine's sister, Emily. In one message, Miss Wandelt said, "I know you will not answer me. I am this girl who went viral saying I am Madeleine McCann." I think this is interesting. So this is what she messaged the sister. When for the supporters of Madeleine McCann deny, she never said she was Madeleine McCann. She's telling the sister, "I am the one who went viral." So unless that was another person, I was rejected with no proof and no DNA test was done, she wrote the sister. Addressing the jury, Mr. Doug Casey said she knew her communications were not welcome and that she was rejected without any proof. Okay. Mr. Doug Casey said Miss Wandelt continued to contact Madeleine's sister, and she claimed that she was her missing sibling. She claimed that she had a hypnosis session and had flashbacks, and that she knows so many things, he added. The court heard she went on to claim that she had memories of the two playing in the garden and that she was her only hope. "Please don't block me. I never lied about anything," she said in another message to Madeleine's sister, claiming that the media made her look crazy. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Let's keep going. Defendant obtained Kate McCann's phone number. Mr. Doug Casey said the contact with Madeleine's sister, Emily, ended at the start of January 2024. But she was not deterred and adjusted her approach with and her target. The prosecutor told the jury that Kate McCann, Madeleine's mother, had not changed her telephone number since Madeleine's disappearance. Adding the contact details in the wrong hands made her vulnerable. Mr. Duck said Miss Wandelt ended up obtaining these details in April of 2024 and continued to pursue her false agenda with Madeleine McCann's parents. The court heard the defendant contacted Madeleine's mother on phone 60 occasions, but did not receive a response. One message read, "I never lied. I'm not crazy. Please let me prove it." It keeps going. "I don't want any money. I just want to talk to you." This is the first day of court. Further messages are relayed to the court, including one where Miss Wandelt asked to take a DNA test. The jury has also heard a voicemail the defendant left for Madeleine's mother on April 13th of 2024, lasting for 1 minute and 50 seconds. The audio goes quiet in parts. In the message, Miss Wandelt said, "I don't want any money. I just want to talk to you. Don't give up on your daughter. Please call me." The prosecution has detailed more messages, including those about DNA tests. "Let me prove to you I'm not a liar and I'm not crazy. I beg you to stop blocking my number. I know things only you, Jerry, and Madeleine would know," Miss Wandelt wrote in one of the messages. Girl, all right. Like, chat, what are you supposed to do when you have somebody claiming to be your daughter? Like, literally. No worries, misinformation. Let's not call. I don't drop their names that often. Hold on, my camera. I think my battery's about to die. Let me change the battery. I don't drop their. Let's not drop their names because I find it funny that like this is a woman whose agenda that they have pushed and they're not covering the trial. We're on day 2, right? You would think, yeah, just to use the initials is fine. You would think that this would be something that they would cover. Like I find it so interesting that you guys would not cover this. Why? What's wrong with that? I mean, everybody, when it came to the Diddy trial, everybody wanted to cover that. When this woman was viral, everybody wanted to cover that. I mean, let me know. No worries, misinformation. Thank you. Um, what do you mean she didn't lie about anything? She lied, Joyful Dolphin. She said she was Madeleine McCann. She did. She ran a social media account saying that. That's what she did. All right, let's keep going. And again, I'm just covering the trial. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, let me just make sure that the camera is on. My battery was about to die. Here we go. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you. Oh, yeah, and it's like day 2, and it's a trial, guys. It's a trial. Okay. Sure, then I'm Madeleine McCann, too. I'm Madeleine McCann. You're right. Anybody can say anything. I'm Madeleine McCann. I've decided today that I'm Madeleine McCann. We have the same eye key right there. They just dyed my hair. They did all kinds of aesthetics to me. I'm Madeleine. I'm the real Madeleine McCann. I'm serious. I'm the real Madeleine McCann. Let's keep going. Okay. I don't want your money, so he says. This is where we left off. I beg you to stop blocking my number. I only know things you, Jerry, and Madeleine would know. Miss Wandelt wrote in one of the messages. Okay. So then on October 6th, it says right here, our live coverage has ended. Today's proceedings has come to an end. The jury has retired and has been told the case will resume at 10. So that's UK time. As the court proceedings have drawn to a close, we are pausing our coverage. Perfect. Okay. So this is now today, October 7th. So now we're up to date. Welcome back to our live updates, where we're starting our coverage of the trial of 2 women accused of stalking the family of Madeleine McCann, who went missing in Portugal in 2007. The prosecution opens its case against Julia Wandelt from Lublin in southwest Poland and Karen Spragg yesterday. And I believe Karen Spragg is actually in the courtroom. Mrs. Spragg and Wandelt each deny the count of stalking, causing serious harm and distress to Kate and Jerry McCann between June 2022 and February this year. So there's Karen Spragg right there. And she has been one of the biggest supporters. Okay. So, you're totally right. He said, well, I mean, I guess it's up to everybody. If they do the test, they're encouraging her too. There you go. Again, see, personally, I think Madeleine passed away many years ago too. I don't think Madeleine is among the living anymore. If you guys listen to Sonia Polton, her theories are like right on right there. And I might message her. I know it's like nighttime over there, but I might probably shoot her an email and see if she'll check it maybe in the morning and just let her know, that like I've appreciated her coverage because it's been very extensive, very like even if she has a theory, she's telling you she's a journalist. She's coming from a kind of ethical standpoint when it comes to that. Yeah, Sonia is amazing. Shout out to Sonia. Okay. Chris says, what happened yesterday? The prosecution opening its case at Leicester Crown Court said Miss Wandelt claimed to be Madeleine McCann and pursued that myth by stalking the missing girl's parents by sending emails, making phone calls, and turning up at their address. Yeah, I mean, if you're sending me emails, stalking, and I'm telling you quit the communication, and then you turn up to my address, for the person that was in my chat, she couldn't have really stalked the McCanns. That's stalking. That's stalking. When somebody does not want communication with you and you keep coming, if you have a backwards definition of stalking, I don't know what else to tell you. I would be worried. I really would be. So I may find the McCanns to be suspect of a lot of things because I'm not a fan of the McCanns. Okay. And I truly believe that some of the Julia Wandelt supporters, they have really like some of them are really well hearted. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe these people are bad. I believe that these people truly want to believe that this is this woman, and they've fallen for maybe some characteristics that make her likable, or that make her like her child. There's childlike characteristics of Julia Wandel that make her likable. But let me tell you something that really was a red flag for me at the very beginning of this case when it first went viral. I believe Julia Wandel is a S trafficking victim. I believe that the boyfriend that she was with, the supposed this boyfriend, when she had this boyfriend who was helping her post all this information, I believe that he was using her for that. And I believe that she's got networks and ties to human trafficking, S trafficking things in her background. When Julia Wandel first went viral, a lot of the sleuths, a lot of us, we were looking into things. There were so many what's the word? Julia was an S worker. Julia was like there was websites out there of Julia like that. Yes, it's correct. And she was promoting her services. That's been well known. Some people don't know that, but that's true. She was an S worker. And so when Sonia Polton, this is how I knew that Sonia Polton was the real deal. When she said she is an S worker and she got with this platform and they use this community to basically run a narrative, that is so effing accurate. Sonia Polton was on the money, because myself and another couple other creators were the only ones that found out just how deep this went, and that potentially she was an S trafficker. And so they were using these as means to kind of promote her too in that way. Anyways, let's keep going. The jury was told Miss Wandel said that she had been abducted and transported to Poland. Michael Duck Casey said Miss Wandel and Miss Spragg, pictured below, carried out a campaign of harassment. And Miss Wandel's case, that was over 2.5 years, the jury was told. Okay. So the key takeaways from the prosecution's opening so far. So they did like a little roundup from court yesterday. There was a brief recess after Miss Wandel stood in the dock and began to weep when the prosecution said that she was not Madeleine McCann. Surgeon St. Clair, I believe, is one that very well knows that this is not Madeleine McCann. He knew that this was not Maddie, but because he had this like friendship relationship with her, I think that he kind of kept quiet. Now, Surgeon St. Clair, I told you guys, he's like the lookalike of Billy Ray Cyrus. I left him a comment and he was very respectful. He responded to me. I may not necessarily agree with his tactics of the way in which he does things, but he was respectful towards me in the comments. So I do appreciate that. He didn't block me. I don't know. That was my take on that. The court heard from June 2022, Miss Wandel had begun to speak to anyone who would care to listen, that she was Madeleine. In January of 2023, Miss Wandel was in contact with a Polish charity established to assist with historic missing person cases, and offered support and advice to people seeking those who had gone missing. Miss Wandel sought to manipulate information, including images, to back up her unsubstantial claims, including sending pictures to Madeleine's siblings, the jury told. Miss Wandel tried to get through the Glenfield Hospital in Leicestershire and told the switchboard that she was the missing child, and then later emailed Madeleine's father, Jerry McCann, telling him, "I could be your daughter." The court heard Miss Wandel's contacted Madeleine's sister, Emily, and told her that she had been hypnosis session. Ooh, hold up, y'all. Sorry about that. Let's keep going. The jury was told Miss Wandel obtained the phone number of Madeleine McCann's mother. Oh, Girl. Um, Sorry about that. All right. So the jury was told that Miss Wandell obtained the phone number of Madeleine's mother, Kate McCann, and sent her a number of messages. The court was also played a voicemail. She sent her last thing nearly 2 minutes, telling her, "Don't give up on your daughter. Call me." Okay, so this is just a kind of summary of what happened on the 6th. So we're about to go to the 7th now. All right, so the 7th, defendants sitting apart after holding hands yesterday. So Karen Spragg and Julia Wandell were holding hands yesterday, and now they're sitting apart. That's interesting. Why? Miss Wandell and Mrs. Spragg are sitting apart in the dock today after they were holding hands during yesterday's proceedings. The courtroom is very busy again today, both members of the public and the press in attendance. Oh, they got people in the press there too. That's interesting. Hmm. Yeah, she's CEOing today. She really is. Um, she is. Jenny G, she's got her moments. That's what she does. Okay. Um, she's having a moment. All right, let's keep going, y'all. The thing froze, and so we had to restart it. Anyways, pursued further attempts to communicate. So here we are, October 7th. Mr. Doug Casey is now back on his feet to continue the prosecution's opening. He picked up with text Miss Wandell is said to have sent to Kate McCann, Madeleine's mother, on the 13th of April of 2024, which were mentioned during yesterday's proceeding. She pursued further attempts to communicate and left a number of voice messages on Mrs. McCann's telephone. He said the prosecutor added that she altered again her focus, no doubt frustrated by the lack of interaction by Mrs. McCann. So when Kate McCann wasn't giving Julia Wandell the attention that she wanted, Julia Wandell would like up the harassment, if that makes sense. Okay. It further says the prosecution added that she altered her focus, no doubt frustrated by the lack of interaction by Mrs. McCann. Moving on to text sent to Madeleine's sister, Emily McCann. He said Miss Wandell urged her to speak to her parents and persuaded them to talk to her. Having been rebuffed on many hundreds of occasions, she was aware of the stress it was causing. So she couldn't get to Kate McCann, so she got to the sibling. That's crazy, man. Can you imagine like receiving text messages from a woman? And she's not a child. People need to stop infantilizing her. She's not a child. She's a woman. She's a grown ass woman who was doing sex work before she got into this whole situation. Let's be very real, okay? And I believe that she's a trafficking victim, okay? So people are aware. Defendant reported to police. The jury is now hearing evidence from the prosecution that Miss Wandell further further contact with Mrs. McCann, who again did not respond. Mr. Doug Casey said Mrs. McCann informed officers working on Operation Grange the investigation into Madeleine's disappearance on April 25th, April 2024, after Mrs. Wandell repeated attempt to contact the family. Her behavior did not stop, he added. Okay, now we're going to page 1. Okay. DNA sample. The jury is told Miss Wandelt left the village on the May 4th of 2024. But before returning to Poland, she visited a Charing Cross police station in London and told officers she was Madeleine McCann. The court heard that a DNA sample was taken as a precaution but was destroyed after an officer made contact with Operation Grange and discovered that there was no prospects of Miss Wandelt being who she claimed to be. An officer from the investigation into Madeleine McCann's disappearance was sent to speak to her and contacted Miss Wandelt on the 18th of June, 2024. Mr. Duck Casey said the officer explained in direct terms that she was not Madeleine and she should desist from seeking to approach the McCann's family or risk arrest. Miss Wandelt responded that she would not give up on her claims. The court heard and also made the effort to record the conversation. There you go. Peddling her story. The prosecution has now introduced accused Miss Spragg to the jury in full. Mr. Duck Casey said Mrs. Spragg was in contact with Miss Wandelt during the middle of 2024. He added Mrs. Spragg was a supporter of Miss Wandelt and was a forthright supporter of the conspiracy theory that Madeleine's parents were responsible for her disappearance, despite the unequivocal evidence to the contrary. He said that she kept in close contact with Miss Wandelt and began to take an active role in peddling her story, and that she did. Karen Spragg did that. We saw there's a video of them. I have it on my channel. They literally recorded themselves in the middle of a crime. And they really thought they weren't going to get arrested or charged. And that's the thing is, like, I personally, this is just my opinion, it's my theory that the McCanns had something to do with it. Now, I'm not going to go out there and harass the McCanns. I'm not going to go out there and write emails like, why would I email Jerry McCann or any of these people for what? For what? It's no point. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, y'all. Another voicemail played to the court. The jury has heard another voicemail Miss Wandelt left for Mrs. McCann. In it, she described Mrs. McCann putting a pink shoe on her foot as a child, and she says she knew how stressed and sad she is. That memory, members of the jury, did not happen. This is what Mr. Duck said. So this is a quote. That memory, members of the jury, did not happen, Mr. Duck said. Julia Wandelt knows that she did not. Julia Wandelt knows that did not happen because she is not Madeleine McCann. There you go. So they played another voice, male. Okay, let's keep going. The net was spread wider. The prosecutors has moved on to the messages Miss Spragg sent to the McCanns. Oh, so now Karen Spragg got in. This is where she got involved. They were acting as a team. Karen Spragg was now actively involved. Mr. Duck Casey said, adding that Mrs. McCann did not respond. The court was told the net was spread wider and contact was made with David Payne and his wife, who had been with the McCanns on the night Madeleine disappeared. Mr. Payne answered a call made by Miss Wandelt and the jury heard. So she contacted people that were with the McCanns? Mr. Duck Casey said the contents of the call showed Mr. Payne did not wish to assist the defendant and was trying to humor her in order to get her off the phone. Miss Wandelt followed up the call to Mr. Payne with an email he added. The prosecutor said Miss Wandelt sought to emotionally manipulate Mr. Payne and referred to compelling evidence of her being Madeleine. It was nothing of the sort, Mr. Duck Casey added. I don't think they want me to contact her. Okay, let me see how much we have left. I think it's a lot. Okay. Whew. All right. Let's make sure. We're going to keep reading, and I'm going to stop interrupting myself because I do have to get done here. I don't think they want me to contact her. Details of another email Miss Wandelt sent to Mr. Payne has been read to the jury. Referring to Mrs. McCann, the defendant wrote, I don't want I don't want to do I don't know what to do. I truly believe I could be her daughter, Madeleine. I don't think that they want me to contact her. Mr. Duck added, this was a masterpiece of an understatement. Messages sent to Operation Grange investigators. The court has been told about messages Mrs. Spragg sent to Operation Grange investigators. In one, she claimed that the investigation into Madeleine McCann's disappearance was a cover up and that the truth will come out. You may be silencing everyone. Julia's not going away, she said. In another message, Mrs. Sprague claimed Miss Wandelt was not lying and has done a DNA test. Detailing further contact with investigators, Mr. Duck Casey told the court, Mrs. Sprague said, everyone knows the McCanns are guilty. You know the truth, and a massive cover up is happening. We could go through their bins. We could go through their bins. The jury have been shown messages exchanged by the defendant on the 19th of November of 2024. Miss Wandelt wrote, we should get their DNA. It's the only way to prove it. If Kate was alone at home, she won't be controlled by Jerry. She wrote this in a message. We should get their DNA. It's the only way to prove it. If Kate was alone at home, she won't be controlled by Jerry. Mrs. Sprague responded with, yeah, we could go through their bins. LOL. Laugh out loud. Mr. Duck Casey said the ends of which they were willing to go were quite extraordinary. They were operating as a team and were planning an event, something fairly dramatic, to assist in the agenda they were pursuing. Girl. Okay. Miss Wandelt returned to the UK. Mr. Duck Casey has told the court that Mrs. Sprague's daily and concentrated interest in Miss Wandel's welfare and into the investigation was evident. Communication between the two in late November of 2024 shows Miss Wandel's intention to come over to the UK again, he said. The prosecution said Miss Wandelt subsequently flew to East Midlands Airport, where she was met by Mrs. Sprague. They made their way to a hotel in Bristol, Leicestershire, and their intentions was that they were going to go to the McCann's house directly. Mr. Duck Casey added, defendants waited outside McCann's family's home. There you go. The person that said she never went there. Yes, she did. And we have footage too, and video and recordings. Okay. Defendant waited outside McCann's family home. Mr. Duck Casey said the defendant left the hotel and were spotted on CCTV moving towards the village of Rothley. The intentions of Mrs. Wandel's visit to the UK, he added, was to visit the McCann's home address. A WhatsApp message Mrs. Spragg sent to the third party reads, we are sat outside the McCann's home waiting for them to come home. We are sat with car lights out. We are sat with car lights out. So they sat outside of the home with their car lights out. Defendants accosted Madeleine's parents outside their home. When Mrs. McCann returned home, the prosecutor says she was accosted, but not physically, by Miss Wandelt with the demand for a DNA test. The court heard Mrs. Sprague was present, and her behavior was such that Kate McCann was unnerved by it. Mrs. McCann told the pair that they were causing distress and should leave the property. The court then heard that as Mrs. McCann went to the door of her family home, Mrs. Wandelt attempted to stop her from closing the door. She got in front of the door? How? She got in front of the door? Joyful. She's trying to close the door and she got in front of the door. You think that's okay? Was this in the dream too? Like literally. When is this okay? It's one thing for you to say, like, Like you're trying to go inside your house and this girl is stopping you from going inside your property. Are you kidding me? That's scary, right, Gustavo? Yeah. So like now this isn't about I believe I'm Madeleine McCann and I'm gonna run like you literally went to the property. The lady's trying to go inside her house and you got in that doorway. This is not okay. I would be, I mean, already if listen, like I said, I find the McCanns to be suspect, but they already have a lot of vitriol from people. Why would you do that? None of this is okay. But I bet that the supporters don't ever share this piece, right? Like crazy work, but okay. The court then heard that as Mrs. McCann went to the door of her family home, Miss Wandell attempted to stop her closing the door. She managed to get inside, but was upset by what happened and made a call to her husband. Mr. Duck KC said, Mrs. McCann could hear banging at the front door. While doing so, the prosecutor added, Mr. McCann then arrived home and the pair were still present, the court heard. They both embarked in similar behaviors, both shouting at him and trying to force a letter into his hand, Mr. McCann, Casey said. They eventually left, but not without banging again on the front door. Again, the letter was not taken by him, the court heard, but a letter was posted through the door the next day. That's that's insane. And this is the stuff that they recorded and then they posted on social media and other channels. Girl, no. This is not okay. This is why Fia, as much as, because y'all know I'm not a fan of Fia, and she did unblock me, by the way. But now this is why Fia was like, I got to get her out of my house because she was acting up. This is too much. Over duck juice, by the way. Over duck juice. Donald Duck juice. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole different story. I think you are scared. The letter from Miss Wandell to Mrs. McCann, who she addressed as Mum, has been read out loud to the jury. Julia Wandell called Kate McCann Mum. She wrote, I'm so sorry for causing you so much distress, but when I saw you yesterday, my emotions were so strong. I felt a close connection to you. I don't understand why you don't want to do a DNA test with me. I think you are scared, but whatever makes you scared, just remember that you are stronger than that. The letter was signed off with Madeleine. Y'all better be hitting the like button. Please hit the like button and make sure this shared because y'all hear the message that gets sent by the other channels. This needs to be heard. It needs to be shared, guys. It really does. Please do. Please support and hit the like button, do all those good things because they never said that to us. They never said that that's what the letter said. That's crazy work. Madeleine and Julia Wandell aren't even the same age, guys. They're not even the same age. Let's keep going. Miss Wandell claimed clear memories of her abduction. The court has been told that the defendant went to a police station where Miss Wandell told the officer she had very clear memories of her abduction in May 2007 and that someone gave me to the person who took me. She also made an allegation about the McCanns. The jury heard. She said their lack of empathy leads me to believe that they already know the truth and that they might have been involved in the planned kidnapping and abduction. Mr. Duck Casey added, none of the information can, of course, be true. So how is it that she remembers being abducted, but she doesn't remember anything from 2010? Julia, conflicting information all the time. Okay. Audio played to the court of defendant's visit to the McCann's family home. A recording taken by Miss Wandell on the night the defendants stopped Mrs. McCann on her doorstep have been played to the court. Raised voices and confrontations could be heard through the confusion. The note pushed through the McCann's door the next day claims Miss Wandell had heard a lot of love in Mrs. McCann's voice. Mr. Duck Casey told the court there was a stark contrast in what was heard, with Mrs. McCann's plainly upset, far from the reality Miss Wandell was trying to paint. I don't want this. Please leave the premise. The court has also heard audio of when Mr. McCann returned home and was accosted by the defendants. Again, there were raised voices, and Mrs. Spragg could be heard asking, "How do you know without a DNA?" In response, Mr. McCann said, "I don't want this. Please leave the premise." There is more talking over each other, but Mr. McCann could be heard saying, "I don't want your investment. I don't want your investment. Excuse me. I don't know what your investment is. No, we're not having a discussion. Please leave." So you could hear Jerry McCann saying, "I don't know what your investment is. No, we're not." Okay. We're not having a discussion. Please hold up, y'all. Ooh, sorry about that. Baby Bunny's like, "Wow." Anyways. um There is no more talking over, excuse me, there is more talking over each other, but Mr. McCann could be heard saying, "I don't know what your investment is. No, we're not having a discussion. Please leave." So he's telling him to leave. Like he's like, you gotta go. Okay. Thank you so much, Marsha, so much for this super sticker. Thanks for covering this. No, I appreciate you guys. And thank you guys, Nurse Janice and Marsha. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Okay. Um, yeah, Jerry McCann's like, "I don't know what's your investment here? Like, why are you here?" Future trips planned to UK. The prosecutors have has told the jury that the defendants had discussed two potential trips Miss Wandell would make to the UK in February and May of this year. This included a further attempt to approach the McCanns at the yearly vigil in their home village of Rothley. The court was told that the pair also exchanged images of Miss Wandell placed next to photographs of Madeleine. In response, uh, Mrs. Spragg said, "You look, yes, looks same child." So this is Karen Sprague encouraging her. "Yes, looks same child." Mr. Duck Casey added that they were obviously different people. They're not the same. Okay, recognizes the reality of her behavior. All right. So following a failed attempt to contact Mrs. McCann via WhatsApp group, the prosecution said that the defendants continued to make plans for Miss Wandell to return to the UK. At As those preparations were being made, the court heard Miss Wandell began to message associates of the McCanns. Further attempts were also made to Mrs. McCann and family friend Mr. Payne. In another message, Miss Wandell told Mrs. McCann she could go to the police or get a restraining order. Wow. So in another message, Miss Wandell told Mrs. McCann she could go to the police or get a restraining order. So Julia Wandell was telling the McCanns, "Well, if you don't like my, contacting you, you can go to the police or get a restraining order, girl." Like that's what she was saying to her. You can do that. So why are people mad that she did that? I don't know. Mr. Doug Casey said she recognizes the reality of her behavior. She knew how serious it was. Her interpretation was that she was being protected, but we know there was a number of reports to the police. Wow. Hold up, y'all. All right. Let's keep going. Hold up. Where did we leave off at? In another message, okay, we read this, her interpretation. Okay, so defendant sent Christmas messages. Oh my God, you were sending Christmas messages too, girl. The court has heard that Miss Wandelt continued her attempts to contact Mrs. McCann in the days leading up to Christmas 2024 and went unanswered. Mr. Duck Casey said she also returned her attention to Mr. Payne. Oh my God. And explained in a message that she had sent letters and wanted a DNA test. On December 24th, 2024, Miss Wandelt sent a message that reads, Merry Christmas, David. The truth will set you free. The court was also told that shortly after, she sent a message to Mrs. McCann that reads, Merry Christmas. All right, hold up. Let me see how much we have left. Okay, we don't have that much left. Defendants arrested at Bristol Airport. The jury had been told that both defendants were arrested at Bristol Airport on the 19th of February of this year. Miss Wandelt was detained after getting off of a flight while Mrs. Spragg had been waiting in a car outside and was arrested after sending obnoxious messages inquiring about the whereabouts of her co-accused. The court heard that Miss Wandelt mainly answered no comment to questions in police interviews and said that she was doing what and said all she was doing was asking for a DNA test. She denied any intentions to harm the McCanns. Mrs. Spragg was a little more forthcoming, Mr. Duck Casey said, and admitted to confronting the McCanns. If it wasn't for the intervention from police on the 19th of February, this all will have continued, he added. They knew the distress they would cause. Oh my God. This is crazy. What we have heard today. So this is just a outline. So the court will resume tomorrow. The live coverage is done, but it sounds like Miss Wandelt was reported by police by Mrs. McCann on the 24th of April, following repeated attempts to make contact via phone and email. Miss Wandelt made a trip from Poland to East Midlands Airport and then traveled to the McCann's home village of Rotley, Leicestershire on May 2024 to attend a visual for Madeleine. The McCanns were not there, but Miss Wandelt approached the priest and the family members. The prosecution said Miss Spragg was actively involved with her co-accused, and the pair were acting as a team. Miss Spragg sent messages to Operation Grain's investigator, claimed the probe into Madeleine's disappearance was a cover-up. The jury was shown messages exchanged by defendants where they discussed going through the McCann's bins. Miss Wandelt returned to the UK in November of 2024 and traveled to the McCann's home with Spragg. The courts heard they waited outside the property for Mr. and Mrs. McCann to arrive home before accosting them. The audio of the defendants' interactions with the McCanns was played to the court. In one clip, Mr. McCann could be heard saying, I don't want this. Please leave the premise. The court heard Miss Wandelt was arrested at Bristol Airport on the 19th of February this year. As she got off a flight, Miss Spragg was arrested afterwards while waiting for her co-accuser in the car parked. You know what makes me really upset, guys? Like, and this is just a thought, okay? If Julia Wandelt had really hurt somebody, let's just say, and I'm not saying like, what if she had murmured somebody? What if she had hurt somebody? What if she has physically assaulted, say, somebody because she was in the property and she got in, or she got in between the door? Would you guys still be supporting this kind of behavior? That's what I want to know. If you really, if this woman believes that she is not who she says she was, even though biologically we've seen pictures, there's been so much documentation of who she really is. If she really believes that she's not who she says she is, then why not do a DNA test with your own family? Her mother offered. Her mother offered. And she declined, but she doesn't say that, right? We're going to keep covering this because I know people don't want us to, but I need you guys to do me a favor and share it. Oh, let me see this. Thank you, my love. Share it with everybody. Share it on your social media. Hit the like button because, like I said, like I noticed that people are selectively quiet about this topic. They're not covering the case, which is like a big trial right now, and there's a lot of media and press. Well, I mean, I guess I'll be the law and crime of the YouTube if nobody's going to cover it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. If there's sounds like there'll be court tomorrow, so maybe like a brief little summary of everything. Now it might be later in the day because of the time zones, but I'll definitely cover it. I will see you guys later. I'm gonna go live later on David and updates and see if there's anything else that has been popping. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, I gotta go eat some food. Bye, guys. Thank you, guys. And thank you for those that supported today. I really do appreciate it. Mana Joe, thank you for being a member for 9 months, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the support. Bye, guys.